Hi friends, it's Kathy from It's in the Cards Divination, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be the pick-a-pile reading that we hope to answer the question, well, we will try to find out, how do they feel about me? Now this can be romantic interest, which is usually what these readings are mostly people want to know about. But there's also coworkers, bosses, acquaintances. Maybe you've met somebody and you're not really sure. Do I trust them? Are they a good person I could befriend? These readings can apply in those areas too. It's just whatever happens to be going on in your mind that's on your mind as to how they feel about you. Okay? So, this is a general reading, which means there are a lot of people listening and it won't always resonate for you. If that's the case, after you've picked a pile, you can go and pick another one to see if that one feels like it's speaking to you. If that doesn't work for you, that's okay. There'll be an upcoming video that may speak to you about this situation. So, let's go to this first and see. Pile number one is pyrite crystal, or fool's gold. A lot of people refer to it. There we go. It's a little bit fuzzy. Focus isn't coming in. On the second pile, pile number two, is the rose-hued quartz. If you choose pile number two, there we go. This is your crystal. And if you choose pile number three, it's fluorite, and that is your crystal. Okay. So if you haven't already, I would love it if you could perhaps click on the subscribe button and the bell for future notifications. Also click like, and if you would like to or want to, please leave a comment in the comments field. And I'm always happy to hear what anyone has to say if this resonates with you at all. Now, let's get back to our reading. We are going to, you can pause this video and see how it feels. Take a moment, deep breath, close your eyes, and have a feel. What is calling to you? Which particular pile seems to be drawing you in? Now, let's go to your reading. So in the timestamp below, click on pile one, pile two, pile three, and I'll see you in your reading. Hi, pile number one. If you choose the pyrite crystal, fool's gold, this is your reading. Okay. How do they feel? How do they feel about me? Okay. All right. So what's coming clear to me first, they see you as very hardworking, which is a nice thing to see. In fact, I'd go so far as to say this could actually be one, a work-related or friend reading, as opposed to a romantic, although romance can also apply because the wands is here. But in essence, this is very good. If this was a boss and reading that you were asking about, because obviously you want them to see you as hardworking, you're willing to take on any task they give you, and you're enthusiastic about it. But not only that, they think you're very methodical. You're able to put things very much um, into spreadsheets, and that's work related, obviously, but you're very much on top of things when it comes to your job. You don't just do a task, you do it in very detailed way, in a very good way. It's methodical. So they see you really as a very good worker. You could actually even because there's two sets of pentacles here, whether if you actually do work, say, in the financial field or the financial world, and that can be in many different forms, whether it's banks or whether it's financial institutions, but it also can be referencing um, chartered accountants, accountancies, those types of thing, anything that deals with money or resources in some way. These are two very good cards to see as to how they see you. Now, as far as any negative trait, your coworker or your boss may see you as being a little too controlling. You might be one of those people that likes to hang on to, as you can see, um, all the jobs for yourself. In other words, you are the one that's not going to allow somebody else to help you. You do it all yourself and you hold on to methods. In other words, there are some people I know who won't even show other people how to do a task. They only they can do it. There's an insecurity around them that they feel they're the only one that can do the job. So there's this sense of that's the perhaps negative aspect as to how they see you, and that sometimes maybe too, you need to be a little more um, able to let go of those tasks. You need to be able to ask for help. It's okay to ask your coworkers or your boss that maybe you need help in this job or this situation. Sometimes the tasks we get are a little overwhelming, and it's because you are so reliable and methodical, and you're able to get all the jobs done that need to be done, and they can rely on you. That sometimes it can be too much, but you don't want to admit to that. You don't want to say to them, you know what, I may not be able to do this. I might need a little help. It's like biting off more than you can chew. That's not a good thing. It's okay to ask for help sometimes when it's a little too difficult. Let go of those coins, let them fall, and be able to that help you need. It's okay to ask other people. Now, the Knight of Pentacles in this middle, and this is like I say, this is the main way they see you, and that's a wonderful way that they see you, is very reliable and hardworking. The only disadvantage with him is sometimes he can be a little slow. Now, I don't see this in a negative light. I see it more as a positive because, in other words, if you work very slowly and methodically, you get the job done accurately. Unfortunately, sometimes if we're too slow, although it's not really expressing that, but it can be a little bit overflow from here. Sometimes when we have too many things, it takes too long. And as I say, you need to allow yourself the help that will make the difference. And see, he needs to let go of those coins, right? Drop them. Okay, so in a romantic situation, um, it's very much they don't there's spark here, okay? There is spark in this relationship, as you can see by the Ten of Wands, and you're the kind of person that often wands don't go the whole distance with a situation in a relationship. But because this is the Ten of Wands and they see you as being this kind of person, they know that you're in it for the long haul, okay? And as well as being reliable and very much hardworking, they know that you provide the stability. You're a good mate to have as far as reliability, as I said before, because the Knight of Pentacles in a love relationship is somebody who is very um, trustworthy. They will not cheat. There's none of that. They are very much that type of person. And for Pentacles, though, the negative part, if it's a relationship romantic, yeah, again, we go back to that controlling feature. Sometimes they want to control that you want to control the relationship in some manner. You can't always be the one. And most likely, because it's both Pentacles, it's in the aspect of your finances that you have pooled together. You're the one that potentially wants to be looking after the money in the relationship. And because it's in reverse form, it's showing as a negative in this situation. Sometimes we have to be able to let go, as I mentioned before. This is not always, especially when it's right next to the Knight, it is often referring to somebody who is almost too much. Okay, they have too much, try to do too much control. And then what happens is if you're always worrying about every little penny, nobody wants to be with someone who is penny pincher. It's the other thing. So if this is speaking about you and how they feel about you, they might be seeing you as a little too much, right? It's okay to let purse open a little more, okay? We don't always have to have this type of situation, right? So now I'm going to pull some cards. Let me pull two Kipper cards here and see, clear that deck. Now we're going to see what do they see, or what do they think about you as far as Kipper? What can Kipper tell us? All right. Okay, let's go into Kipper here. All right. The house on the journey card. Okay. This is somebody, they feel, sorry, I apologize. There's some glare there, not a little bit. Okay, I won't move around. Because of the house card, you're very family oriented. That's how they see you, which is actually a good thing. It's a positive thing. Family is very important to you, as well as your security and your safety. And that doesn't just mean in a physical sense. We're talking emotionally stable, stable, stable. The house card often represents stability, a ground, good foundation. So this is how they see you through Kipper. They see you as being a very, very stable and very family oriented. They may even see you as a homebody, okay? Somebody that likes to spend a lot of time at home, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're both fairly compatible. But that's not to say it's all the time because the journey card is about movement. So you're not always wanting to stay stuck in the house. You're an active person too, whether you're active physically as far as hardworking or into sports and activities. This is also you. You're also like to travel from home. You're a traveler, okay? So maybe this applies to you then as far as a romantic situation. Going back to a work situation, Kipper is talking about, as again, as I say, somebody they feel your boss or your coworker, whoever it is you're asking about, um, sees you again as very stable, very reliable. You're not afraid to get out there and do a job or a task that maybe is outside your comfort zone. Okay. So it's good. Like that's a very good balance, in other words. And excuse me, but maybe in the last while, because I know a lot of people have been working from home, sometimes the house card can reference that. They haven't seen much of you because you have been working from home. But now you're going back and forth. So you're back at it again. And that's a good thing because this, how they see you in a work environment, the best way they see you is when you're actually in the office or in the building where you work on site, and that they're able to see how reliable and how hardworking you are. Okay. So one more card is the actual Oracle deck. Let us see what the Oracle deck says about how they feel about you. Okay, what can you tell us now? All right, now let me try not to get a glossiness for you. If you believe, whoops, I apologize. If you believe, we know that this is at its very face value, right? If you believe. The problem is that, and this is what I'm getting, I'm hearing, is it's starting to come back to the Four of Pentacles and the insecurity. When we feel insecure, we don't think we measure up, okay? We don't see ourselves the way other people see us. But you need to believe that you are very valuable to this person you're asking about. Um, they they just, you don't give yourself enough credit, okay? Especially in a work environment situation, you don't even see yourself the way they see you as being this wonderful, hardworking person, and you don't have anything to worry about as to how they see you. And it's the same with a romantic interest as well. You need to believe that you are worthy of love and they see you in a great light. Okay. You have to believe it because if you don't believe it in a relationship, then you start questioning all the time. It comes back to the Four of Pentacles. We start trying to control a relationship and to control situations around us. And then it causes a lot of problems, especially in a romantic scenario. So I'm going to leave this with you. I hope this answered that question for you as to how they see you. They see you very well. This is an awesome reading, and especially in a work situation. So we will now close up this reading, and thank you for listening, and we shall see you soon again. Bye for now. Hi, pal number two. If you chose the rose hued quartz, then this is your reading. Okay. So the tarot, how do they feel about you? Now, this, as I said, could be in many forms. This could be in a work-related situation, but I'm really sensing that pile number two is really focusing more on romance. Okay, this is a romantic partner. First of all, you've got two court cards flanking this Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups in tarot is a beautiful card. In other words, especially when it's upright for me, they see you as someone who goes after what it is they want in life, a go-getter, okay? And no nonsense. You don't put up with any foolishness. Now, you might be a little bit on the intense side. This Knight of Swords is telling me that you might be the kind of person that just does not take no for an answer. And you are used to getting what you want, but it's not in a negative sense. It's more of a confident sense where I know what I want, and you can see he's like, I go after what I want. And the Queen of Pentacles, what a beautiful card in the upright position. She is very earthy, and first of all, she loves nice things. Okay, she will go out and buy the Michael Kors bag and the Gucci and the whatever. Like this is the kind of person. So a little high maintenance. She gets her nails done, she gets her hair extensions, but not to the point where she will spend all her money. She's very careful. Because there are no reverse cards here, this person sees you in a very positive light. This could even be a little more established relationship, like you've been together a little while, not just those new relationships where you just know each other 5 minutes and they can judge you. This is something when they've been around a little while, even maybe 6, 8 months, a year. So they already know you a bit better than most. This is also someone, the Queen of Pentacles is not only someone who likes nice things, she loves nature. She loves being outside. She could be into hiking and outdoorsy sports and loves that kind of lifestyle. She'd be the kayaker, okay? She'd be the one doing the hiking trails. They see you as very much in tune with nature, content with what you have in life. And financially, you are also in a very good independent situation. Perhaps own your own home and perhaps you have your own car. There's no financial issue there. The only issue, if it is an issue, which it really isn't, because they're all, as I say, in the upright situation, upright position, the Knight of Swords can sometimes be a little brash. He jumps into things. They may see you as a little impulsive, but in their eyes right now, it's not a negative. It's fun, it's exciting. And there's the sensual quality as well to the Nine of Cups. It's that feeling of um, getting all the things in life that you really enjoy, like you might even buy the fine wine and you might enjoy nice meals out. But that's often what the Nine of Cups represent. So you're a very well-rounded person because I also feel as well that because of the Knight of Swords, you really are someone who doesn't put up with any foolishness as far as truth seeking. You want to know. You're very honest. You're very much somebody who's not going to beat around the bush and be very trustworthy, in other words. That's the Knight of Swords. He's all about you as well. You're a good communicator. You know how to get things out there. But sometimes, as I say, if there was a negative, it could just be a little Sometimes we have to be a little more diplomatic with our words, right? So let's go into and check out our Cupid cards and see what it is they feel about you. All right. And as I say, I don't really get a work vibe to this, but maybe we'll go back and see how this relates to a work situation or a friend situation. Not a friend situation, not a work, but sometimes our coworkers are our friends. So let's see what Kipper has to say about you, how they feel about you. Okay, let me pull two cards. Okay. Oh, this is nice. Even though this looks like a bad card, it's in a good reading. There is, you're somebody who advocates, they see you as going after and helping the underdog. Okay, people, you're a really nice person that goes in and helps those people that maybe don't have enough in their life. For example, even just on a regular basis as a couple, you would be the one that wouldn't want to see any bullying, any situation of somebody else. Like if you were out with your partner, your mate in the community, and that's community card, you don't want to be in a situation where there's yeah, any kind of negative situation like that. Like you'll jump in. That's the Knight of Swords. You'll jump in and get involved, okay? Because you want to be able to help. There's this sense of when I look at this card, sometimes it's referring to this person, and sometimes it's referring to the nurse. But I see you as more the nurse. They see you as the caregiver. You're a caregiver. That's the right way to put it. And not just of them, of all kinds of people. You're the one who will go the extra mile and help others, whether it's through charitable means or just going to your neighbor's house, bake some cookies because maybe they're not feeling so good. That's the kind of person you are. And that's what Kipper is telling me. So I hope that resonates for you. We will pull one more card from Oracle, and then we'll go back to the business aspect or friend aspect of this. How do they really feel about you? Let's see. What does the Oracle have to say? All right. Let's see. That one did not. That did not resonate. Deck is probably needs some clearing. I'm just clearing it now. All right. How do they feel about you? What can you tell? What advice can you tell them? Oh, okay. All right. So listen to your intuition. And that always sounds great in theory, right? Well, so I always feel like that's kind of sorry, an answer that nobody wants to get because it's not clear. But what it tells me is go with your gut instinct on that's how they see you. They see you as somebody who is very in tuned with your gut instinct. They know your partner, your romantic partner, sees you that your judgments are very good. You always make good choices in that. In fact, when you're in a situation where you're meeting new people, you're the one that's able to assess the situation better than they can and the people around. It's when you get that little feeling in your stomach, you go, I don't know about this guy, or I don't know, this woman is not telling me the truth. That's the type, that's how they see you. That's how you present yourself. Okay, so let's back up and go back to tarot from a business standpoint. All right. And again, a lot of the reading is very similar. Um, you have this, they in a coworker or friendship setting. Again, you're the friend that everybody wants to hang out with and have fun and go. um, It's the sporty type. I see you as the really sporty type. And then this applies also to the romantic, that you are the one that wants to get out there. And as I say, go hiking and do all the nature stuff and the trails and all the fun stuff. You're also somebody who they see you as so kind. Like I'm looking at this little rabbit, honestly, my intuition is kicking in. you would be the one that would go and do the work at the Humane Society to help the animals. You'd be the type of person they see you as kind-hearted. And yeah, they see you as a bit high maintenance, friend, girl. You got to have the manicures, the pedicures, and all the fancy clothes and everything. But there's nothing wrong with that. You're very confident and you know what you want. You're also very independent. And so your person that you're asking about, whether it's a friend or a coworker, they see you in a really good light. As far as work is concerned, yes, you're very hardworking and you've got everything all figured out. You know what it is you're doing. And in the Kipper is telling me again, if you if you were in like you say you were in a medical situation in a work, I meant work occupation, medical occupation, that's your that's how they see you. They see you as being very much the caregiver. And I know that also applies in the romantic sense as well. But you are like so well rounded in this reading. It's not even funny. Like they really think a lot of you. And again, you have good judgment on all things. You know how to listen to your intuition. So I think you know where I'm going with this. It's a very positive. There's no negative characteristic. Um, Sometimes, if there was a negative, the only thing I would say is that sometimes you need to take a break once in a while, okay? Because the bad health card in Kipper can sometimes tell us we need to take a break. Maybe you take on too many things sometimes and you don't give yourself a chance to rest. That's not a bad thing. That's an easy thing to fix, okay? Because you're the go-getter, it's hard to sit still, okay? So I'm going to leave this with you, and I hope something here resonates for you. They see you in a very nice light. There's this is the second reading I haven't seen very much negative, and even the negative is not that bad. So I will leave this with you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now. Hi, pile three. If you chose fluorite crystal, then this is your reading. Okay, I've already dealt the tarot cards. So let us see what we have going on. Okay, right off the bat, I'm feeling like, well, this could apply in both ways. This could apply as far as a romantic situation, but I feel it's more work related. Okay. Only because we have both the Queen and the King of Pentacles, and Pentacles often relate to business or work. So I'm going to, in other words, this is more resonating with you if perhaps if it's a work question, where you're asking, how does that coworker feel about me? Or how does my boss feel about me? And in this case, I think it's more of a coworker because we have this situation going on in the center here. Um, they feel, well, first of all, you're shown in a very good light. This is you, the Queen of Pentacles. You're very much hardworking, and especially at the office or wherever it is you work, you're considered to be, you're seen as right for the job. Okay? And that's a wonderful thing. But what has happened is this person, there's some jealousy here. And I'm going to pull this other card to see what's going on here. Okay. This is the Page of Cups, but in the reverse position. Okay. So what has happened is this coworker or this person in your work environment, they feel they've been trying to think of the proper word. There's jealousy here, okay? They feel that they perhaps were the right one for this particular job, the king. I feel like you went from a queen to a king in the eyes of the work field, okay? So in other words, this is like a promotion or a situation where you got another job within your work environment, and there's this jealousy going on. This person, yeah, and they have an unrealistic view of they feel they should have been the ones to get this job. They have an unrealistic idea of their worth, but so they see you, even though they see you and they know deep down you were the right person for the job, and you're now the King of Pentacles. In other words, you're the boss potentially, you're the one running the show. yeah, they can't help it. They don't like it. They're being childish about it. There's this jealousy and childlike quality to it. And I think in time, hopefully it will get better, but they don't see you right now in necessarily a good light. They do as far as, like I say, they see that you are the right person, but they can't help it. They wanted that. Perhaps they were the ones that wanted that position and they wanted it. And yeah, there's some sour grapes going on, in other words. They don't feel so good about it. Now, if this is about a potentially a romantic situation, then they see you again. There's a bit of a jealousy, and I think what it is they feel that you've been taken away from them by this king. There's not a lot of there again is a jealousy of that situation. They themselves feel like you've been I won't say sneaking off because that sounds really negative. It's not that you're sneaking, but in their mind, it's a childlike emotion they're feeling with jealousy and that I would have been the better person maybe to even be with this guy. Like they may feel that they were the one. So this is more about a friend situation as well as maybe um, romantic, but your friend, how your friend feels. They feel like you've been taken away from them in a way. It's like and that happens all the time when we have new relationships and our friends, we just don't spend enough time with them, right? But it's that childlike immaturity about it. So there's a bit of jealousy going on in that situation. Okay. Now, if this is about your partner in this romantic relationship, what I'm feeling is that they see you as, again, there's a bit of jealousy about you. You're the more dominant in this relationship. And not only dominant, but you've gone from a queen to a king. So, in other words, you are kind of running the relationship as far as even financially. You're the breadwinner. You may be the one that kind of calls the shots. And they're not too happy about that. Okay. There's some childlike behavior in this. So, obviously, the best way to approach that, if that's how they really feel about you and as a partner, you need to have a conversation about, or maybe relinquish some of this power that you have. Maybe it's necessary for this type of relationship. Maybe the other partner is not pulling their share financially, and sometimes it's just circumstances. It doesn't make them feel good about this whole thing as far as how they feel about you, okay? So let us go into Kipper and let's see what Kipper says about any other aspects. All right, two cards now. All right. Ah, yeah, yeah, this makes sense. They see you almost like as if you're the mother in this relationship. If it's a relationship question, you are the one that is keeping them sort of smothered, okay? And restricting them. It's not good. No, there needs to be a better relinquishing of some of this power. I mean, it should be more equal. They call it don't be unequally yoked as a couple. In as far as a work situation or a friendship situation, again, they feel like you're the one that's taking all the control and calling all the shots and doing this. And there's this negative feeling. They feel stifled in that relationship. If it's your friend, they feel like you're the one that thinks they know better than anyone else what to do, as well as a work situation. They're like, well, look at me. I'm now in a position of authority and I know more than what, because you're referenced as the mature woman, but it's seen in a negative light. It's like because think they see you as thinking you know more than they do. That's how I'm trying to describe it, which in fact, you may not feel that way, but that's how they see it. So they feel like I'm being treated like a child and I'm being smothered. And this applies all around, whether it's a romance, a work situation, a friend situation. You have to stop being seen or perceived as a know-it-all. Okay. Again, there's this negative, immature feeling around it, childish feeling. And that's what it is. It boils down to they feel like they're the child in this relationship, and not in a good way. You're probably treating them maybe a little too like they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so there needs to be some backing away and from that situation. Let's see what the oracle has to say on that. See, let's see. Okay, what can you tell us about this situation? What advice? All right, let's just pull a card. Mm. Ah, yes, that's exactly what this is. You know what? Okay, the card I pulled is abundance, and this is what happens, obviously. And I was right, it's a jealousy situation. They see you as having everything, and they feel like they don't have enough. So there is a jealousy going on, and that could be in the workplace. As far as a relationship, again, you're the one holding all the cards, all the money, all the situation. You're the one calling the shots. You have the abundance, in other words. Maybe you're the breadwinner, as I said, the main breadwinner, and it's causing your partner this angst. It's like, I feel less worthy. I feel not good enough. And even though you may not consciously think you're doing that, that's they can't help how they feel about the situation. So there needs to be some good dialogue with your partner, your friend. If this is a coworker, maybe you're able to have some kind of conversation. And you know what? I'm not who you think I am, or this situation is not what you think it is. I and I mean, obviously, if you got a promotion over somebody else, you're not going to be able to justify it, and you shouldn't have to. They're going to have to figure that out on their own, and over time they will. But as a coworker or friend, you don't want them seeing you as the know-it-all and the person who thinks they have everything and they aren't good enough in some way. Okay. So I will leave that with you. It is pretty clear that and they do see you, it's not all doom and gloom. Like they see you as being very capable, and you are able to come across as a very knowing person. You know a lot, and you're very much able to be a good provider and do all these things. But sometimes we need to have their input more. When it's a relationship, you need to pull back a little bit and let them do a little more of the decision making. Or maybe even if it's just in a financial situation, sometimes it's okay to let them make mistakes with our money, and not on a big scale, but maybe let them handle the money and see how hard it is as far as paying the bills and doing all these things. You're not their mother or father. If you This is a male listening to this, this is what this is kind of referencing. It's like smothering, because you don't think they're mature enough to handle the situation. And that can be, as I say, whether it's a friendship or a relationship situation. So, great readings, very interesting. I leave these with you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to our next video.